Hello everyone and welcome to a new project. This is Divinity Original Sin, and it is in a way the follow-up project to Blackguards, which I've now finished recording, even though at the time of this video probably haven't finished uploading and releasing quite yet. And the reason it's kind of a follow-up project is that it's a little different, of course. It's more of an open world role-playing game, but the combat system itself is very much turn-based and has similarities to Blackguards and XCOM. So as I like that kind of squad-based, turn-based RPG combat system, I thought I'd continue along the same line and go with Divinity Original Sin. And we will be making a new game. I've already played the game for I don't even know how long. Does it tell me if I go into the load screen? Okay, I've gone to day 6, but it doesn't tell me how long that actually has been in game time, but a good few hours, I'd say. Definitely gone into the first section of the game and probably gone into the second section of the game. But we will of course be starting a new game in single player. I don't have anyone to play with in multiplayer. At least no one who would play in English and be willing to record. So there is that. The loading screens are a little long. Unfortunately, the effort associated with cutting them out just isn't worth it. So I guess you're going to have to live with the loading screens or skip forward 15 seconds or so. They're not all this long, but some of them can be. Now, right off the bat you notice something a little different from your average RPG, and that's that we have two protagonists. Both, I shall rename them. I kind of gotten used to this name for whenever I play a male-female duo, so let's go with Strange and Charm. And I have a lot of customizability in terms of how I will play these characters. So I will play her, Charm, as a witch, and then let's go and customize them. I'm okay with the attribute spread. I'll further customize, however. In terms of abilities, having that 1 point in willpower is fine. 1 in Geomancer I don't want. I will instead put that point into Pyrokinetic. Geomancer is Earth spells. Actually, no, I need that for the Summon Spider spell, which I find very useful. Personality, 1 point in Charisma, which is, it's okay, I'll keep that. 1 point in Lore Master, also very useful. Well, I guess now is as good a time as any to go through what these do, so I'll cover that now. First episode, as always in this sort of game for me, will be very much talking and character creation and introduction and so forth. So do not expect too much action. It's not a very action-packed game. It's a very good RPG, and I enjoyed what I played so far. But it's not non-stop action. There's a lot of talking and walking around and solving puzzles and all that. Very cool, but again, takes a little while, I guess. Okay, I will leave the stat spread as it is. Now, the weapon skills are fairly self-explanatory. These give me a damage boost when using the appropriate weapon, so you can see bow, crossbow, single-handed and two-handed weapons. And there's a distinction between one- and two-handed swords, for example. So I cannot take a one-handed sword and hold it with two hands, and even if I'm ridiculously strong, at least I believe so, I cannot carry a two-handed sword in one hand. There might be a talent, I don't know, but I don't think so. Defensive attributes are, I guess, what it says on the tin. Armor Specialist improves my my ability to wear heavy armor, so I get more out of it, and it doesn't penalize my movement as much. Which isn't relevant for her because she'll probably be wearing light armor only, mage stuff. Bodybuilding is how physically strong the character is, and that affects saving throws against physical statuses, as you can see, so knockdown, burning, bleeding, crippled, blinded, weak, disease, infected, and drunk. why ever I would get drunk, I don't know, but yeah. Shield Specialist obviously makes shields better, gives them an additional chance to block, for example. And Willpower is against any sort of mental status effect. As you can see, Feared, Muted, Charmed, Frozen, etc. You can read the list. Skills are... well, skills. The abilities I use in combat. And I have to put some points into the appropriate school of skill, I guess, to be able to use skills. And this makes high-level spells or skills of that type cheaper. And the higher I have the skill, the more skills of that school I can learn. So in the beginning I can really only learn 3 spells, for example, for Witchcraft and Geomancer. And I would have to increase this further to be able to use then 5 spells, 7 spells, 9 spells, and so on. I think that's the progression. So Arrow Thurge is lightning and air-based spells. Expert Marksman is arrow and ranger kind of skills. Geomancer's earth magic. Hydrosophist is water magic, which also incorporates healing. But I think also freezing, for example, is water-based, so fair few skills. Man-at-Arms is physical skills. Special sword attacks, for example. We'll see that on the other character. Pyrokinetic is fire-based spells. These are the highest damage spells, and they have some very useful... well, they have one very useful buff as well, so that will be my first target, getting Pyrokinetic up to level 1. Scoundrel is your rogue class of skills, I guess. And Witchcraft is what I also have a few spells of. There are buffs and debuffs. Not so much direct damage, but still very, very handy. Personality. Bartering, of course. Basically, I get better prices at merchants. I don't know if it's a direct decrease in price. Did it tell me? Okay, it doesn't. So as I said, I don't know if it's a direct decrease in price or if it enables me to basically haggle better. So if I have items worth 100 gold, I can maybe get 110 for it. But I might have to manually set his offer to 110 gold and then just hope he accepts. I don't know exactly how that works. Charisma is something I use for charming, intimidating, and reasoning. So I will not... I actually don't need that much on her. I will put the point into... Actually, no. Let's go for Charisma. Why not? Let's have the woman be the leader, I guess. Leadership is... Speccing this quite high gives a nice little combat boost to all party members that are in line of sight of her. So if they see their leader present and giving them moral support, that makes them stronger and better. Very nice. I will probably be speccing that a fair bit. Lucky Charm gives me a chance whenever I open a container, for example, to just find some random stuff in it. Better stuff. I will not be speccing that on her. I think the way I'll play it is she will be sort of the leader of the party in a sense. She'll do the talking, but since she's not a physically intimidating character, since I'm playing her as a caster, I will have the other guy, Strange, who you can't see, but he was on that side, so that's why I'm putting the mouse there. He will be the one who does the opening of crates and the carrying of stuffs. Okay, craftsmanship. That's my ability to make things, repair things, that kind of thing. Blacksmithing enables me to repair any damaged equipment. That's very useful. I will probably be speccing that fairly soon on my... either my main character or one of the additional party members will be getting. And I also needed to create and improve metal-enhanced weapons and armor. So for example, if I want to make leather armor, I don't need this. That would be done with just the normal crafting skill. But if I want to make steel armor, for example, I would need to use blacksmithing. And I haven't done any of that crafting yet. I'm just kind of guessing. Crafting is most of the stuff that you can combine will require the crafting skill. Making arrows out of arrowheads and shafts, for example. And you don't need feathers in this game, you just need the arrow shaft and the arrowhead. Lawmaster enables me to identify items and enemies. So I will learn and know more about enemies I'm facing. And also it enables me to see the hidden magic attributes of items I find. And that's a service that is available at merchants as well. But it costs money at the merchant, so being able to do it yourself is good. I will of course first need a an identifying glass and the unidentified item, but we'll find a lot of those over the course of the game. And telekinesis, well, it means I can telekinetically move heavier items and move them further. I don't think it's very useful, but there are certain uses where you can't reach an item otherwise. And finally, Nasty Deeds is kind of the rogue stuff, I guess. Lockpicking, pickpocketing, and sneaking. I didn't use this much, so I'll probably not be using it very much on her at least. Secondly, we got talents. I don't know why she would start off with Pet Pal. I don't want that on... Do I? I mean, she does the talking, so yeah. Pet Pal enables me to talk to animals. And this comes in handy more often than you'd think. I mean, a lot of animals don't have much to say, but... Actually, I've seen it quite a few times that they gave a sort of interesting hint at something. They would tell you, they would warn you from doing something, or they would tell you... I've had this one occasion where I was in a dungeon and I talked to a rat and the rat told me, oh, there's some spiders coming up, for example. Stuff like that. Nothing game-breaking or anything like that, but it's nice. And Walk It Off reduces all status durations by 1 turn. Also affects positive ones. I don't know. Let's see what else I can use. The ones that are red down here require some prerequisite that I don't have yet. So some of them are fairly expensive. This one, for example, requires Geomancer ability 5. So that would require me to have 5 levels of Geomancer, which is more than 5 skill points. Because the first level costs 1 point, the next costs 2 and 3. So 5 would be, what, 15 points? Quite expensive. Similarly, immunity to muted, wow, nice. Some of them don't require as much. One thing that I quite like is Glass Cannon. Makes me more vulnerable, but makes me a lot more versatile, I guess, in combat. I can do a lot more before I run out of actions. But most of these... yeah, most of these I can't use yet. And the ones that aren't redded out, I can use. And I think what I'll use on her is actually the Far Out Man, which increases range of spells and scrolls by 2 meters. That... yeah, why not? The rest... I mean, some of them are fairly self-explanatory. I don't know if I should really go through them, but I guess I will. I mean, it's the character creation episode, there's no reason to not be thorough. Arrow recovery means if I shoot special arrows, I have a chance to get them back. Normal arrows do not have uses, they don't get used up. If I have 1 normal arrow, that will last my ranged, my bow using characters pretty much forever. But there's special arrows, which have special arrowheads, which can create poison effects, freezing effects, there's tons of them. Very, very versatile system there. And these will usually get used up, unless I have this, this talent, which gives me a chance to get them back after using them. Bully means if an enemy has a certain debuff on him, I do more damage to him with non-magical attacks. Totally irrelevant for her, of course. Courageous means I cannot be feared, but I cannot flee from combat. It's actually not that bad. And it's incompatible with Escape Artist. Did any of these have? No. Okay, so that's the first incompatibility we're seeing. Which means I can either be an escapist, which enables me to run from combat even if there's an enemy right next to me, or alternatively I can be courageous, which means I will never be able to flee from combat because I'm just stoically standing my ground even if I die. Stupid, but courageous, of course. Again, not something I really need on her. She, being in the back line, she ideally doesn't have as much close contact to the enemy. It won't work out all the time, or very often, but you get the point. Elemental Affinity. This seems very specific. It enables me to cast my spells for cheaper if I'm standing on the surface of the same element, in a surface of the same element, but it seems very situational, because often enough I don't want to be standing in the surface of the same element. I don't believe blood might be the element for my witchcraft spells, which we'll get to in just a moment. But for example, to cast cheaper fire spells, I'd need to be standing in fire, which is bad. So, I don't know. Not really something I'm looking forward to, basically. Not something I'm aspiring to. Escapist, I can flee combat even when enemies are right next to me, and incompatible with Courageous, of course. 5-star Diner means double the effect of food. I don't use food very much, or at least I didn't in my first run, so yeah, I don't think that's something I really need. Know-it-all means enemies don't... well, actually, everyone doesn't like me as much, but I'm smart. So, kind of... since she's going to be doing a lot of the talking for my party, I don't want everyone to just have a flat-out 20-point penalty to attitude. Because if they have a better attitude, I think they're more likely to be open to my persuasion attempts, for example, and they're more likely to tell me things, and they're not just going to straight up go, "Oh, you go away, I hate you." Leech means I get healed when I'm standing in blood. Might be handy on the frontliner, but definitely not something I want to spec right away. Light Stepper gives me a bonus to detecting traps and secrets. Again, might be handy on a different character, not on her. Lone Wolf, I haven't played around with. It means I have to play alone. I don't get companions or friends. But I get a fairly nice bonus. So this does make me quite strong, but I don't have anyone to fall back on. And I'm not so sure that's a good idea. My Precious means my gear has a chance to not lose durability. It's nice, but I don't know, durability hasn't been an issue for me yet. Pack Mule means I can carry more. Also hasn't been an issue for me yet. Politician means I get stupid but more charismatic. I wonder if they were trying to make some kind of subtle point with this. Scientist means I am better in blacksmithing and crafting. It's actually quite handy. Again, not on her, she won't be doing those things, but still. Stench means people don't like me, but enemies don't want to get close to me either, so... might be okay. Not on her though, definitely. Walk It Off means... We've seen this, shorter status durations, good ones and bad ones, so that's why I despec'd it. Water Rush means if I'm close to death, below 30% health, I get more actions per turn, so I can do more stuff. And finally, Zombie means I get healed for poison, but take damage from regular healing. This might be interesting because I don't know how much the enemy AI takes advantage of that. I don't know, for example, if they will stop targeting me with poison spells, if I have this selected. I might play around with it, maybe have my frontliner become a zombie. We'll see. The points, the attributes, which I'm done with the talents now, that's just fine. And I can also turn her, I guess. Now you can see her backside for a bit. Strength determines my chance to hit with strength-based weapons, improves man-at-arms skills and how much I can carry. And means I also get better at moving around crates and barrels and all that. Makes sense. Dexterity is obviously better for ranged weapons, so bows and crossbows. Means I'm better at expert marksman and scoundrel skills, and also makes me more defensive. That's more defensive in the sense of I evade attacks. Intelligence, all the elemental and witchcraft spells are tied to intelligence. Makes sense, right? It's pretty much as you'd expect. Any damage dealing and such healing spell will become better if you're smarter. Constitution is maximum number of action points. That's not how many I start with and not how many I get per turn. That's the maximum I can accumulate. We'll get to that. And also how much health I have. Again, as you'd expect. Speed means movement speed, how far I can move per action point. Initiative, which is how soon in combat I will get my turn. And how many action points I have, I think, at the beginning of combat. And perception is critical chance, initiative, starting action points in combat. So this is speed would be how many action points I regenerate per turn, I believe. And perception is how many I start off with. So if I have a high perception, I don't get caught off my guard and I'm ready, sort of starting right away and doing a lot of stuff in the first turn. Very nice. Ability to detect traps and, accuracy when shooting over long distances. All as you would expect it, pretty much. And starting skills. Now this one is the Oath of Desecration. This gives a 50% damage bonus to an ally. It is hugely powerful, and it only costs 3 action points, which isn't much. So this is a very, very good spell. And especially for that price, I really, really do like it. Summon Spider just summons a spider. It's kind of just a tank. It does do damage, so it's nice for that. A lot of early game enemies are immune to poisoning though, sadly. However, she isn't the spider. Has a reasonable amount of health. I can summon her in a certain area, so she doesn't have to spawn right next to me, which means I can place her strategically. And at least early on, it's nice just to have another unit to soak up damage. Bloodletting just causes bleeding damage and does some slashing damage. I'm not particularly fond of that, so I'll see if I can't replace it. Okay, I have three different witchcraft spells to choose from in the beginning. I could also choose Enfeebling Touch, which it has a range of 5 meters, which isn't very much. The Oath of Desecration has a range of 17 meters. And the Enfeebling Touch usually has 3 meters, but I have the Far Out Man talent, so that's plus 2 meters range. Wow, 20 minutes already. Sorry about that. The other character will be a little faster, though. I could also... I have Geomancer, so I could also use Midnight Oil, which makes me able to make an oil surface. At a range of 17 meters. I think I'll use this. Yeah, it might come in handy, so why not? Okay, and I can also play around... I can change her gender, apparently. I can also play around with her looks. I'm okay with the... Just turn around. I'm okay with the skin color. I think I changed her face when I was playing, maybe. Yeah, let's go for this, why not? I can put some sort of facial tattoo on my guy as well, so they look like they're a team. Hair. Oh. Yeah, let's make her wear it open. Hair color, And the portrait up here, by the way, does not reflect how I make my character look. It's a little sad, but... Well, don't want blue. Don't want anything really weird. Jet black, why not? Let's go for black hair. I can also change their underwear, but I have no idea why I would want to do that. I mean, underwear 3 appears to be the most modest one. Not that it's particularly modest, but never mind. It's a game. Okay, and second guy. This one will be going a little quicker. Dexterity determines, well, my skill with... Actually, let me change his class because I want him as a warrior. Fighter, that's the one. Giving me strength, constitution, speed, and perception. Again, we've been through all these, they're kind of self-explanatory. In terms of abilities, single-handed, that's okay. I want him to use a shield. Defense, that's also good. Skills, he has 1 point in man-at-arms, giving him certain combat skills. It's also okay. Nothing in personality, craftsmanship, and nasty deeds. That's okay, he's not supposed to be much of a talker, I guess. Talents, my precious, means I don't lose durability as easily, and opportunist, which gives me the ability to perform attacks of opportunity. I don't really want my precious though. I will go for... Yeah, I will go for Morning Person. Which means when I'm resurrected, I revive to full health, which is... might come in handy. He's supposed to be my tank, it won't always work out, but there will be situations when he dies first and I want him back on his feet quite nicely. So that's okay. The stat spread is fine as well. As for my abilities, the battering ram is one I never really use. So I'm replacing that with Cure Wounds, which is just a short-range heal. It only has 3 meters range, but it will get quite good, I guess. And currently has a penalty because my strength is only 7, and it technically requires more. But we will get that amount of strength quite quickly. Dust Devil is an AoE attack. In melee power stance, I don't use that much either, but it makes me do more damage but be less accurate. At the cost of my skills costing 1 additional action point. And I think I want to change his face as well. Why not? Let's go with that one. Skin color is fine. The head, I'm also going for one of those tattooed faces. Yeah, why not? Let's go with that one. Hair color jet black. No, that was the Raven one. Raven's wing, that's nice. It's kind of a bluish black. And underwear, I don't care. Okay, so that's the character creation done with. I know it took a whole episode, but you know me, I like to be thorough and make my LPs into tutorials, basically. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time, when we'll actually see some action. Bye bye!